Hello, everybody. Good evening. I'm so excited. I'm so thrilled to have you all join us again. This is 2024. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, everyone that has joined in. For everyone that joined in early enough, guys, you're the real MVP. Thank you so much for coming in as early as possible. We really appreciate you. So this is Wisdom Connect. If you're joining us for the first time, this is the platform where we discuss about real life issues. We take it back to our guiding principle. On Wisdom Connect, we're very intentional about becoming the best version of ourselves. So ask ourselves, what is it that is inside of you? What is it that you have inside of you? Because guess what? That's what will move to the next generation. So we like intentional people. So we hope that you'll be intentional with us as we go on this journey. God bless you, and thank you so much for joining me again. So no need to waste too much time, let's just go into today's topic. But before we do that, we just want to do some few ground rules just so that we have decorum and we are all on the same page. This is a strictly no critique zone. It's important that you don't criticize anybody's ideas. If you do not appreciate it, if it doesn't go in line with what you want or how you would say it, it's okay. Just give your own point without criticizing the points by another. If you want to speak, please raise your hand so that we can avoid decorum. We don't have time to speaking at different times, and that can be really clumsy. Be very intentional on becoming the best version of ourselves, like we said earlier when we started. This is a place where we learn, unlearn, and relearn. Learning is a continuous process. It never ends. So we're saying we're encouraging people to never stop learning. The last thing I would like to say is please do not use any foul language. Please be very polite with the words that you use and how you say the things you have to say, even when you disagree with someone else's idea. Try to be polite. All right, guys, with that being said, thank you so much. And it's time for us to jump into today's conversation. Today, we're talking about work-life balance. And one thing that came to mind when the topic came up, was like, Nigeria's slogan today is no grief for anybody, no grief for anybody, no grief for anybody. As much as that's really encouraging, when you're really pushing people like to strive for the best, put their best foot forward, to aspire to be great, and all of that plenty of things, which is great, right? But then I asked myself, you agree for yourself? Are you creating time for yourself? Are you making time for yourself that in the midst of all of this aspirations, goals, desires, are you creating time for you? Because the truth is, we actually matter, right? But I will not go ahead of myself. So let's just start normal. One thing we like to do first on Wisdom Connect is to go to the roots. Let's really understand what we're talking about before we go ahead and build upon the conversation. So anybody that wants to speak, please, what do you understand by the term work-life balance? What does that, when you think about that, what really comes to mind? Like, is it like whatever, just anything? You're open to say anything on this platform. So what comes to mind when you think about work-life balance? Anybody? Okay, Wisdom Connected is a new year. So anybody, what do you think of when you say work-life balance? Okay. Should I call names?
You may mention
someone saying something. No, we're very intentional here. So let's not mention name. Let's just allow people to decide. So really, guys, anybody? You might not even waste time on that. Just go ahead, please. Thank you.
Oh, me?
Yes, you, Mr. Henry Ozil.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
In your space this evening, and well, what can I have to say? When you say work life balance, what did you put again? Let me check. Sorry, I didn't. I want to get the right word for it. Where is it? Okay, work life balance. Yeah. When I think about this, well, we are given the peculiarity of our city, Lagos, is just crazy. The work takes so much of our time, and even the road take a lot of our time. And to now have to live a life outside of the work is so much work that if you don't put in deliberate effort to have a life outside of work, it's
Okay.
really, really demanding to really, really get a life outside of work, the way our city is in Lagos. And it's one thing that I'm trying to, for me, myself, it's one thing that I'm trying to work on this year, trying to deliberately create a time, measure the time I'm using, even on community and the time I'm spending at work, and now to also create a time for myself to not just be just passing the time, but also living in the time. But it's really, really important that we always also live in the time, not just work and just get the money and just keep circulating it over. It's a lot.
Amazing.
We I'm working towards getting the balance.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Henry. And creating life outside of work. I totally agree. I know how Lagos can really make you feel really busy, like where everybody's busy. It's almost as if no one is free. And then I wonder, what really are you doing? Thank you so much for that, Henry. Yes, Charity, please go ahead.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Rosemary. So, yes, I'm going to come in the angle of virtual work, right? So, as much as virtual work is more relaxing than having to be on site, there's still this the negative part of it, because many times you don't even have a closing time. You're working because you're working from your house. So you're working till like late in the night, 9 p.m. You still find yourself working because you are just on that system. It's just hard to get. But then having work-life balance is still finding time to prioritize things that matter to you aside work. So family time, personal time, basically rest, in fact, because rest is important. You get up 6 a.m., you're on your laptop, you're working till like 10 p.m., and then you don't even have time for yourself. So it's just finding time to manage your personal life without focusing all your time and energy on just work.
Wow. Thank you so much for that, Charity. I was really going to come to working remotely, because when you feel like you're working remotely, you can just forget that, oh, you're actually working. And, finding time to manage your personal life, I think is really important. Yes, I really like that. Thank you very much. Any other person want to say anything? Want to say anything about what you understand by work-life balance? Just anything. And then we'll move on. Yes, please go ahead.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It's the first episode of the year, and we are happy to be here once again. So, quickly, work-life balance simply means to me taking care of yourself, looking after yourself. So it's just finding a balance to be able to separate your work and non-life work. So in general, this is what it looks like: being able to stay on top of your workload and meet deadlines without working all hours. Spending quality time with if you are married, with your children, your partner, your friends, and other people who matter to you. And maintaining boundaries between your work and non-life work. So you are not worrying or thinking about work all the time. So this is what I mean by looking after yourself. Then making efforts to eat nourishing foods, exercise regularly, relax, and keep your body up with hobbies and activities you love. Then having proper and restful sleep routine, to look after yourself. So generally, this is what I mean by looking after yourself. So that is what I mean by work-life balance, because when you put it work, it's your work life. Then non-work, look after yourself. You have to show up for yourself before you can show up for others. Because when you don't show up for yourself and take care of yourself, you can't show up, you can't give what you don't have. Even when you get to work, when you're deprived of sleep, when you are malnourished, when you are not mentally stable, it affects your output at work. So take care of yourself, and when you get to work, you become more productive. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ben has given us the whole thing for today. Thank you so much. Ben said, taking care of yourself, separating work from non-work, staying on top of your work staying on top of your workload, and then you have to show up for yourself before you show up for others. I totally agree. And like we always see every time on Wisdom Connect, you cannot give what you do not have. So how do I give you Babu? If you guys remember when I explained that Babu scenario, if I don't have anything, how do I give you something? So thank you so much for that, Siben. So we'll just go quick and no need to spend so much time on definition. However, I will just read out what I had made, the research I made on the meaning of work-life balance. So work-life balance is not different, honestly, from what everybody has said, but just to just read it out. So work-life balance is the amount of time you spend doing your job versus the amount of time you spend doing what's important to you outside work. This could be spending time with loved ones, pursuing personal interests, and hobbies. Now, when I saw that hobbies, I was like, I feel like I'm a bit ahead of myself, but let me just go ahead. When I saw that hobbies, I was like, well, what if my hobbies is actually my work? Does that mean that there's no balance? We'll come back to that. Think about it really. Your hobbies is your work, is what you're doing to make a living. So at what point are you not balanced? Anyways, we'll come back to that. The importance of work-life balance improves your work life. Improving your work-life balance can improve your overall well-being, including your physical, emotional, and mental health. If you guys know very much on this platform, we talk a lot about mental health and things that can affect our mental health, because I feel like these are things that we cannot take for granted. Unlike when you go to the hospital and the doctor gives you like a medication for mental health, really, it's not seen. It's something that is happening for lack of a better word, let's say it's invisible. It's just there happening, piling up, one day at a time and before it explodes. So we're very intentional about mental health on this platform. So yes, so this is another topic that really explains that, and I'm very interested in that. So I have here that the studies has shown that working long hours can lead to such serious health issues, such as impaired sleep. I think Charity made mention of that when she talked about rest, depression, heavy drinking, diabetes, impaired memory, and heart disease. My God, you might just think that, oh, I'm just working, right? I'm just doing what I have to do. Why am I hearing heart disease? Why am I hearing, but it's crazy, but that's just how life is. Anyways, guys, so we're done with the definition of work-life balance. So now let's just go in. Let's just go in real quick. So, which is what I said earlier. Is it possible to enjoy what you're doing at the same time working? Is it possible to have a hobby and that hobby is actually your work? Anybody? Anybody? Is it possible to be doing something you love at the same time working? Yes, Siben, please go ahead.
Okay,
You can
so
use personal examples too. Sorry, you can use personal examples and all of that to illustrate.
okay. All right. So by definition, your hobby is not the same thing as your work. So let me explain. Your hobby is something. The difference between your work and your hobby is that one is paid, one is not paid for.
Okay.
So I love mountaineering, I love hiking, I love cycling and all that. I'm not paid for that. I'm not paid to do that. Okay. You get? Yeah. Some people are paid to do that. So they can put in all the hours, learning all the tricks, reading more about it and all the spend. So that's their work, you get.
Okay.
Yeah, it moves from being hobby to work when you're paid for it, because work is something you do and you get paid for it. So that's your professional life. Now your hobby is not your professional life. Your hobby is not your professional life. Your hobby is something, let's go hiking, let's go cycling, let's go golfing. But the moment you move it to your professional life, profession, you're doing it like a professional, and the professional gets paid. I can play football on Saturdays, on Sundays, just to relax and all that. I'm not Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi gets paid for playing football. So he invests more time. So the thing is that if your hobby takes more of your time, what you now look for a way, because it's taking so much of your time and you're passionate about it, now look for a way to earn money by doing that. So, but with that, you now move from just being a hobby to now profession, because now it's being paid services. You get it. But if you're not paid for it, it's a hobby.
Okay, so if I get you correctly, Siben, what you're saying is, when once you get paid for something you already love doing, it becomes work. It's no longer a hobby. Okay, but I'm thinking really. So are you saying that you cannot just enjoy what you're doing? If it's okay, for instance, I love makeup, right? And I didn't learn makeup because I wanted to make money out of it. But at the point I started making money out of it, does that mean that I don't enjoy doing makeup anymore? So I'm also asking with hiking, you're hiking so great. And some investors or some people come to you and say, oh, okay, we want you to do this for the media, blah, 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 and we're going to pay you. Does that mean that you're not working?
Now, it still remains a hobby. Now, it moves to a profession when you can say this is your source of income. This is your source of income. So you can predict, okay, you know that every month income, you are expecting an income by doing that. You get.
Okay.
That's what now talking about your makeup, you may be, of course, you have to be passionate about your work. Without it, I don't think you're gonna be your best. You have to be passionate about your work. So if you love makeup, makeup may start as a hobby, but by the time it begins to take much of your time, that's the real thing you're doing is taking much of that time, then you have to consider commercializing it.
Okay, so I'll come back to this, Siben, and thank you so much for that. So this question came from the fact that a lot of people are working to make a living. Or we have a lot of people, I don't know if our generation are doing that, but I know we have a lot of people that just work. It doesn't mean they actually enjoy their work. They just work because they need to make a living. And there's something, like, when we talk about sometimes talents that Lord gave everybody, there's something the Lord has placed inside of you. And Bible says the gift of a man makes ways for him. So it means that your gifts, you can work, you can make money out of your gifts, right? So, and studies have also shown that people that love what they do, people that love their job are more efficient at what they do than people that are just working to get paid. So what we're asking is, why do we have a lot of people that just work to make a living than actually enjoy the work that they do? Anybody? Yes, Siben, you already unmuted your mic. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so the question is, why do we have a lot of people who work to earn money rather than people who love what they do? Okay, I think it's the way we have been conditioned from birth. Go to school, graduate, get a good job, and blah, 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 and all that. But before then, our parents, our forefathers, before the industrial age, our forefathers used to be, those that answer Mr. Mac Blacksmith, Mr. something they go after. So the name, what you do, you have your name. The English people, you hear them answering Mr. Blacksmith, goldsmith, and all that, because they are forefathers and they used to be goldsmith. They used to be involved in such activities then. So then everybody was literally an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Everybody, because of course you have to go to the farm and get things for your family and exchange it through trade by barter. So everybody was literally an entrepreneur, business person. Then factories came. With factories, when they start building industries, they start building factories and industries, they needed a system to train people to come and work there. That was how education came in. So they needed to train people. People need to go through a system. You get it? The school curriculum and all that to prepare them to come and work in the factory so they can earn a living. So people left the farms. You get it? People left the farms, now came and started working. Then after that, the corporations came in. The corporations is where you now have the service industries. The banks came in and, corporate bodies, insurance and all, they started coming. White collar job, what they call the white collar. So people started moving from factories where they were doing manual labor in the factory to working white collar jobs and all that. It has existed till this point where we now have a lot of people don't know that things have changed. The internet's changed the whole thing, where we started working from home. and all that, bringing us back to, so you are no longer more tied to, I have to go to work, I have to earn a job, I have to do. You can now start a makeup, thanks for the internet, and just put it on YouTube, do videos, do this thing, and you start making money from there. You get it? So
See, let me cut you there. Sorry, I understand what you're saying. However, we're saying that why is it that most people, because what you're saying is the new age and it's the things that are happening. Thanks to Gen Z and some millennials. But the truth is, we have a lot of people that do the job just to earn a living. It's not because they love it. Most times they don't even love their jobs. So,
yeah.
I want you to help me balance that up.
Yeah, because now the thing is this. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Now the thing is this. It's one thing knowing, remember when you go to school, you are trained how to do your job. You are not trained when you did accounting, nobody taught you sales, nobody taught you leadership, nobody taught you negotiation, and this is what it takes to build a whole business. So because you don't know that, when you get a job, you have to focus on what you know. You are not your boss. Your boss has to employ everybody. So you have to focus on your own tax. Are you getting what I'm saying? So it's
So focusing on your tax takes away your love for it or the ability to love it.
No, it doesn't.
Anyways,
it doesn't.
We'll come back to you. Siben will come back to you. Other people are still raising up. We'll come back to you. Yes, Fisayo, please go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, Rosemary.
Hi.
Okay. So I believe you can do what you love and earn and still make money. But from what you said, a lot of people actually, that is because there are bills to pay, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot just say, okay, because I don't love my job, I have to quit, especially when you have responsibility. So sometimes you focus on what's the word? Whatever your hand finds to do it well until you'll now find that balance where, okay, this is what I love doing. Not everyone. Some people love what they are doing and they are making good money out of it. But if you have not gotten there, if you are not in that space yet, you have to do what you have to do to be a responsible person, to pay your bills, to be a responsible citizen, to be a responsible son or daughter, to be a responsible spouse, to be a responsible parent. A lot of parents, that's like what he was saying, a lot of parents did not really, well, not all, some of them did not enjoy what they were doing, but they had responsibilities. So even if it's not what you are even making money out from, a lot of women do not love, I don't know, I'm not speaking for everybody, but a lot of them, but because they have children, because they have a family to feed, they have to go to the market, they have to do this, they have to do that, they have to cook. So it's more of responsibility. A lot of teachers in Nigeria are not, you can't tell me that, even if you started as, oh, I'm so passionate about teaching, the system and everything will not even, but if that is what you have to do at that moment, you do it. So it's more about paying the bills than being happy or enjoying the role. But you can enjoy both of them. Yes.
You can do both. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I was talking about the fact that responsibilities will push you to do the work regardless of your love for them. Now, my next question, which takes me back to Siben or any other person that has to speak. Can you actually get to the point where, okay, I got this job, I took this job because I had responsibilities to pay, to handle. I have a family to handle. I have bills to pay, blah, 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 blah. Now, at what point do we get to loving the job and doing it? Because really, if you check it, that helps us be more effective. So at what point do we get to, I want real life situations, I want real life scenarios. At what point do you get to actually loving the job? Anybody? It's like a lot of people came to hear, me too, I'm learning. I don't even know if I've struck the balance yet. So don't even think that Rosemary has answers or anything. I don't have it. But yes, Siben, please go ahead. I think you're muted. Oh, okay, you did not. Anyways, anybody?
Yeah, can I?
Yes, Henry, please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I would first of all I want to say, in as much as you are working, you you have to love your job. If not, you
Okay.
just keep getting frustrated every day and
Okay.
day by day. I would like to share my personal experience on. Okay, I was working with.
We can barely hear you, sir. Hi, Henry, are you there?
I'm
Okay,
currently
before
working
Henry.
with
Okay,
a
go ahead.
position.
Okay.
Am I being heard?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay. My working hours was very small. I love the work. I have a lot of time for myself.
Okay.
Then I now got promoted.
Okay.
I
We
got
lost you
promoted. I got
again.
it, and it's more money, but more responsibility. I tell you,
Okay.
I at first I was frustrated. First of all, like my whole time, first of all, changed. I never had any time for myself. It's a new opportunity. It's something that's important, and I see myself complaining every day. Like I don't like this. Like it's like they should take me back to my former. I go
Right.
to work every day and the work is so demanding. I come home, I'm just tired. I just sleep. In fact, when I go to work, at times I don't want to even put anything in my head. Like I'm not ready. I'm just thinking about the
Can
timing,
totally
working
relate.
to evening, coming back, waking up and going again. It was something else. But I now put to myself that I can't continue like this. If I continue like this, I won't last on this job. I will if I may even have to put it out a resignation letter. Then I now settle down, start to put my head down, accept my reality that this is my reality. This is what I'm working with now, and this have to work. So by so
We lost you again.
doing, I started getting used to the job. I started entering now. So I asked the people that take apart from us, get used to our inventories, like making things interesting for me. And I really now find the work very interesting and now started to see other benefits that are attached to the work. And I'm telling you today, taking back to my former position. So what I would like to say is that any space we find ourselves, and no matter how demanding the work is, no matter how stressful the work is, we have to accept it and we have to like it. Like if we don't like it, it will always be a burden. Going to work will always be a burden, and we will always get frustrated. And I don't think we can really find happiness where we are being stressed, where we see the work as is so much stress. We have to enjoy whatever it is we do, even though it's not what we like to do, but we have to enjoy it. We have to find a way to enjoy it. We have to find something that will make us to enjoy it. That's what will
Amazing.
build us up there. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Henry, for sharing. Are you speaking?
No. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Talking about accepting your reality, that can help you love your job. And I really like that. It means that you're now being intentional and saying, you know what, this is it. Now, so with Bio, I don't know why a lot of times I like to add this pigeon into whatever I'm saying, but just accept me like that. But really, like, it is what it is. Like, guys, this is what is in front of me. I think I really like that because I think that's something we can all inculcate if you're not doing that yet. And just be intentional. Just be like, okay, so what can I do to make my life better? Because the more you hit the job, the lesser you're better, you're good at it. So if you really want to strive and excel in that particular job, I think being intentional and accepting your reality would really help. So thank you so much for that, Henry. Any other person want to say anything about how you can get yourself to love your job, even if even if it was there just to make a living in the first place? Any other person? And we all came to learn. We all came to learn. Is right. It's okay. One day we'll have Wisdom Connect and I'll be the one listening to every other person. Anyways, thank you so much. Yes, Siben, yes, please go ahead, Benjamin. Before we go to the next question.
Okay. So how to get yourself to love your job, which means that you are already doing the job, but you want to increase your love for what you're doing and all that. I think it has to
Yes.
start with
We lost you, sir. Or is it just me? Can everybody hear
Can
him?
you all hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Okay, so I think it has to start with you asking yourself questions. So, and ask why questions. Why are you doing what you're doing currently now? So if you can answer the question of why you are doing what you are doing now, then you ask yourself why. The answer you get, you ask yourself, why is that thing important to you? For example, if I'm doing coaching and I ask myself, why am I doing coaching? I said, because I want to help people to achieve their goals. Then I ask myself the next question, why is people achieving their goals important to me? You get that? So if I said,
Yes.
okay, yeah, people achieving their goals is important to me because it will make them have a sense of achievement and fulfillment. Then I ask myself, why is people having that sense of fulfillment and achievement important to me? Now, so what I'm saying basically is this: it has to be an introspection. You get what I'm saying? It has to be an introspection, and it has to happen with you. So by the time you ask yourself these questions, these soul-searching questions, and write them down, you begin to uncover things. You begin to learn things about the work and the things that are the hidden things there that can help you. Now, even if you intend doing another thing in future, ask yourself also, how can this thing I'm doing, how can it currently, I'm doing present currently, how can it help me achieve the work I plan doing in future? So by the time you look deeply, you'll find some connections. It may be that you are in marketing. You are maybe, so let's say you're in you are in a technical department. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Okay.
And yeah, or let me for example, you are in a marketing department and you love working with your hands and all that. If you can answer, okay, how will this marketing help me when I want to set up my own business? Don't forget that when you set up your own business, you need to also have the marketing skills as well. So by the time you know that this thing is teaching you that aspect of marketing that will be useful for you when you start your own, you'll find out that you'll begin to pay more attention to marketing because now you're developing your marketing skills that will be of when you transition into your ideal work. So we are about 16 on this platform. Make even not today. Over talk, I beg.
It's okay. It's allowed. It's allowed. Thank you so much, Tibe. Having an introspect of what you do and why you do them is really important. So I don't know. I hope everyone we're taking one or two because I'm taking notes, to be honest. And if there's anything I see on this platform, is the fact that I come up with research, right? It doesn't mean that I've applied them or that I'm working perfect at them. No, it's more of the fact that we're all learning. Like we said, learn, unlearn, and relearn. So I'm very intentional about growth. I'm very intentional about learning. So by the time we get this thing from every Wisdom Connect, so everybody has wisdom. So that, and this wisdom that are being shared, I hope that we take it into heart and just see how we can make life better for us. Because if you leave Lagos, it's not great for you. Anyways, I don't know why I just keep using that phrase, but just pardon me. So now moving on to the topic of the day itself, or the way to, moving on and all of that. Is there anybody here that would say to me that, oh, I've been able to strike a work-life balance and it's working for me, and this is how I did it. I did this, 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 this. Or is there anyone that is like, I have not been able to strike a work-life balance. I have tried this, 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 but it didn't work. Anybody like that? You want to share anything? If you've been able to strike it, please tell us how you did it. If you've not been able to strike it, what are the challenges that you're facing right now? Anyone? Wisdom Connectors, we share wisdom on this platform. As in, I share, you share. It is a sharing something. Yes, Fayim, please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Sorry, I sound like this. I actually had to wake up because I knew that I was supposed to come here.
Oh, we love you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I'm one of those people that came to learn. Because this work-life balance thing has been hitting me hard. And one of the things that I haven't figured it completely yet, But I know one of the ways to strike a balance. Like, I think I came when Henry was speaking. There's a need for intentionality. I have a boss that says for the 8 hours of the day that she works, she'll put her head down. She can be she can be funny at times, but because in that 8 hours, she knows that she wants to finish the job that she has to do. So she's not your friend if she doesn't need to be, or she's your friend when she needs to be. Like, she will be everything she has to be just to get the work done. The moment she closes, she's closing everything.
I love your
Like,
boss.
all doors
I love your boss. Can I
shut.
work with her, please? Go ahead.
She's closing everything. So of course, sometimes that doesn't work out because as a boss, you have to approve some certain things that are coming in late. But she's made that intentional point to, you know what, I'm going to finish work at the 8 hours. I'm going to make sure that at 8 hours I'm done. If anything comes after that, and she understands that, okay, this is not important, she will push it to the next day.
Mm.
And she's like, you know what? So she has a little girl. She's being intentional. I want to spend time with my family after work. So I think for the work-life balance, it's intentionality. But it's something I'm trying myself. You know, as you get back from work and me, I carry work home because during the day I never get energy. I don't have strength to complete it. So it's things that I'm trying to inculcate. But I think if you look at it and say, you know what, I work for this amount of hours, and then you tell yourself, this is my to-do list for today. This is what I want to achieve for today. And I'm going to bury my head, like I'm going to get so focused, zero in, and achieve what I have to achieve for today. So that I can take with me that feeling that I did so well today. So that when I'm relaxing, I'm not relaxing with the left behind mentality of, oh, I didn't even get this done. I didn't finish this. I have to still do this. No, you're relaxing. Though, okay, I did what I said I was going to do. And now I have earned my rest time. I feel like that is one of those things that we can try to do. And anybody that gets there before me should please tell me how it goes. Right now, I'm not there yet.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much, Faye. Talking about intentionality, the need for intentionality and having a to-do list. I think that's really amazing. You know, when I was doing my research, right, I came across something that said there are people that when they are not working, it's as if their life is finished. It's like everything revolves around their job. And when they're not working, it's like they're still thinking of work. They're still, it's crazy. You might not even know how you get yourself there, but it is what it is, right? Like Henry said. And when Faye was speaking about the fact that, when you have a to-do list and you're done, I'm done for the day and you can rest. That's an amazing thing if you can achieve that, to be honest, because why are you not working and you're thinking? I'm not even talking about the fact that, you have work to do or that you have, but you see, you're thinking of work. Okay, what's next? My God will help us. Any other person want to say anything about how you've been able to strike a balance with work and with life, your relationship, or how it has affected you in the past? Anything in those lines. Or you've been able to strike a balance. How did you do it? If you've not been able to strike a balance, what are your challenges? Or how has it affected you? How has work-life balance affected your life, affected your work? Anything anybody wants to share? Yes, Henry. Fee, okay, can you raise up your hand again, Fee? Let me just get that correctly.
Okay, can I go on?
No, sorry.
Yes,
Let me drop it.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I would just like to add to what Finch said. I really enjoyed what she said. And like what she said that about her boss, that once she's done with work, she's done with work. Okay, so when I nearly started my role and the work looks so bulky, and normally the closing time for our office is 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, you're allowed to go home. You can go home from 5. But
when you work and you see the tons of work that you have on the table, you tend to work till like 6 o'clock, 6:30 before going home. And there was one day I was working, I was so tired. So there was one of our technicians who was coming, and I was just like, I pardon me, I like to say this to you, but like they will call the man Ibadan because the man stays in Ibadan. On Friday, he goes to Ibadan and come back. I like Ibadan. Gbogbo iṣẹ́ tẹ̀ ń ṣe láti jọ yìí, ṣé ẹ ti parí ẹ̀ ni? What I mean is that what I mean was like, all this work that you guys are doing, it's not even showing. If you look at our field, we have a lot of boss still packed there, and we are working tirelessly, and it's look as if people are not working at all. The man, the response the man gave me, the man was like, we can't finish the work of LBSA. Like, once we are done with all this work, they will sack all of us and let us go.
Oh my God, such mindset.
He said, once all the boss are outside, there's no boss on the field to work on again. That means there's no work, all of us will go. So we can't finish the work. We'll do what we can do and we'll go home.
Interesting.
It's also funny, but I think that's that word. And if you look at my work, you can't actually finish the work. So it's 5 o'clock. Whatever I cannot do, I leave it till tomorrow.
Close your laptop and japa. Interesting.
Honestly, like what has really helped me? That has really helped me. I do whatever I need to do. The most paramount thing that needs to be done, I make sure I get it done before 5 o'clock. Once it's 5, max 5:20, I'm out of the office. There's no coming back. And tomorrow morning when I come back, we'll continue. That has really helped me. So I really like what you said about it, boss. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Henry. When Henry was speaking, I remembered one time when I think before I went for service, I was working at a particular company. And then you find out that you have people during the day, they're just lazing around. Oh my God. I just came in, I was like an intern. I was done with school, though, but I had not gone for service. So I was like an intern. And they will give interns a couple of work to do because you'll be JJC. And then you find people that during the day, they're on their phone, on AliExpress, trying to do every other thing apart from work. 4:30 last song, everybody's on their laptop. I never get to understand it. Like, I don't understand. How do you live the whole day and then wait for the end? This 9-minute syndrome, this procrastination, it could be anything, which we've talked about a lot on this platform. But, I'm just like, and I never got to understand because I'm the kind of person that I have a job. I want to do it because it's right there in front of me. Can I just, get it done with, then play afterwards? But you have people play before and then afterwards they go to work. And I'm like, why do we have to do that? Like, really, why? I understand that, we might not be able to finish the job of this company. However, why don't you just get your job done, right? And when he was speaking, I remember a quote was a video I saw, and I just remember the quote. I wrote it down. Don't mistake activity for productivity. So you have a lot of people doing a lot of this, but are they really being productive? So even ask yourself, are you being productive in your job? Are you being productive in all that you do? Or you're just really having one activity or the other? You're just, playing around. Anyways, thank you guys so much for what you have said. Any other person before I just go? I just download all the things I've written down. So guys, any other person, any challenge that you face with work-life balance that you want to share? Have you been able to navigate it properly? How did that work out for you? What were you able to do? What was the turning point for you? Where did you learn it? How did you come about? You know what? At this point in my life, I need to do better. Anybody? Before we move on. Okay, so not to waste so much of our time because we were already 2 minutes past the hour of 8, and that means we're 42 minutes in because we started at 8:10. And give or take, we should end this meeting by 9:15 thereabout or 9:20. So my last question here before I go on to download. I always like to download all this I've read, and that really resonated with me, and I feel like this is good. We can work on it. We can improve on this with this point that I've written. One last question. Now we have, since COVID came, we have a lot of working remotely. So I know now we look for remote jobs. Like I won't even lie, right now I'm looking for more remote jobs. And then, how working remotely can just put you in a box because you're at home. So it means that you have your bath in the morning, you just go to your table. Sometimes you don't even have your bath on your table, you're on your laptop and you're working. And before you say Jack Robinson is 6. It's 6:30. If you work for Indians like me, 7 o'clock, you're still there, you know? And then you're asking yourself, I thought the agreement said 5:30, you're done. So really, is anybody that works remotely here? And how have you been able to strike a balance? I will go first before anybody says anything. One thing I think I have done, because I work remotely most times, right? And I know that, or one thing I've learned, thank God for my friend, I have a HR friend that told me, Rosemary, don't respond to these people on Sunday. Don't respond. Because she was like, because you always feel like the work has to be done, and that's fine. The work has to be done. However, you have a life. You're important. And whatever you desire, your love, your family, your relationships, your health is important. So sometimes we forget for a second that we are also important as much as we're being diligent, because Bible says, find a man diligent in works, he'll stand before kings. So it's good to be diligent. However, you're also very important. So that's in your diligence, create time for yourself. So, and I noticed that if I continued that way, the way I was going, I would not stop. I won't tell you that I'm perfect at it, but I can tell you for a fact now. If you send me a message at 5:35, 5:40, if I've not actually closed my laptop, I'll answer you. But if I've shut down, sorry, I'm not going to answer you. Like, I had to be intentional about it, because I'm kind of person that I like work, right? I can't even lie. But at the same time, I had to tell myself the truth, because these people, like everybody you're working for, also cares about themselves. So why don't you care about yourself? So I had to tell myself the truth. So every time is the right time to close, I just shut down. It got to a point sometimes when they really need me, like it's an urgency, and it's the CEO that sends me a message, because he knows that I'll be seeing everybody's message on the group. I've closed. That's why I like what Henry was saying, because sometimes it doesn't mean you're not diligent. Don't get me wrong. You do your work and do it properly. But when it's past the time, if it's really important and you can go up, please do it. But if you know that you have personal things to do and you're important, then please do that. There are times that I've been at weddings and I was working at the same time, not because I wasn't trying to have a balance, but because I understood that it was really important, right? However, but there are times that you have to set boundaries for yourself. I've been ahead of myself. I'm going through my notes, but I'm just telling you my personal experience. And I had to say, you know what, Rosemary, when it's past, okay, I even used to do it to 6, to be honest. I'll start from 5:45 and getting ready. But if I've shut down my laptop, except if it's super important or I've made the mistake of not remembering before time, I'm not putting on that laptop again. So any other thing I cannot handle on my phone, that's it. Tomorrow, we're going to continue. So, but really, anybody that you work remotely, how have you been able to strike a balance? Because sometimes you really forget. You're just home, you're on your laptop, you're working, and it's almost as if it's the same thing at the same house for a day. You go chop, you come back, everything. It's almost like it's we. And sometimes we really find it difficult to strike a balance. I really like people that work remotely to talk, please. I know a number of people are here. Just tell me. If you go to the office, you might decide to go home. But if you work remotely, how have you been able to navigate it? I know you that work remotely. I know you know me. So don't allow me call your name. Yes, please go ahead. Keep raising your hand, so yes, keep it coming. Yes, go ahead.
Remotely, but I do have, there is a point that I'd like to raise. I think that applies to those that work remotely and those that don't. The moment you reply an email, a work email, the person on the other side believes that you're working. So I've had that thing where I was like, oh, you know what, let me just try to be efficient. I took the work home, finished, and I sent it. Ever since that day, my boss found it fit to be sending me work at 8. You know what? The day that they did, I did not respond to the next morning. They got the message as well. So truly, there are certain little things, like you said, certain little boundaries that you can actually put, which is, I know that if I send, honestly, unless the work has like a high importance, as in the deliverable is something that is key to something that needs to happen today, do you understand? Or when the time crunch, I can understand those measures. But if it's something that today heaven will not fall, tomorrow heaven will not fall, may not assume that email will not fall heaven as well. So the boundaries have to be in place. You can't reply, like, say, colleague give it that you will reply, you take it at a stretch. Okay, if an email comes in at 6, then I can look at it. Tell yourself you will look at the mail and add it to your to-do list for the next day. But that you reply. So I understand a bit of what you're talking about when you say you work with Indians, because I have a few Indian customers, and they can be nagging and persistent. And oh, Father Jesus, they are amazing people. The best thing is not to answer. Just draw the line. Sometimes they don't see it, but keep drawing it. One day they get the hang of it.
Right. Thank you so much. Setting your boundaries is really important. I totally agree. Thank you. Yes, Siben, please go ahead.
Okay. So I work remotely, and
Okay.
yeah, and there are things that I've learned over the years, and there are
Okay.
some of the things that I have to, because of course I coach clients online, so these issues like this do come up, and sometimes I have to make suggestions, and
Okay.
while making those suggestions, I have to practice it myself. To
Okay.
be honest with you, you cannot. It's a very difficult thing to balance work and life. It's a continuous process. It's a journey.
True.
It's a journey because this involves habits, and we are not perfect when it comes to keeping doing all the habits 100%. We are not perfect. We are humans, so things do come up. However,
Yeah.
we can't discuss this topic without talking about time management. Please, please, the way to go about this is this. When you are working, please work. When you are not working, please do not work. Do not multitask. It's an enemy of productivity. When people say I multitask and all that, I know that you are not doing a creative work. When you tell me you're multitasking, imagine God multitasking when he was creating the world. Person I for don't day buttocks. If God was multitasking. But God,
Sir.
yes. Now the thing is this. You have to practice these things. They are easier said than done, but you have to ruthlessly prioritize your time. You have to set a time limit for each task. And because there are times when things happen, so you have to build in buffers between tasks. Like, okay, this task might take, okay, let me give more additional 15 minutes to that task. You have to schedule breaks. So if you work for this thing they call, I've tried it myself and it worked. It's amazing. Work for 25 minutes straight, take 5 minutes break. Come back again, work for 25 minutes straight, take 5 minutes break. It's super amazing. Try it. By the time you do that for 4 hours, deep work, it's not about the number of hours you put in. It's not about the quantity, it's the quality of time you put into your work. That's why I said when you are working, please work. When you see people saying, oh, they're this and that, when it was 4:30, they were rushing and all that, check the productivity like you mentioned. You may be busy, but are you actually productive? And somebody may work for 3 hours, deep work, and produce more work than the person that said, oh, I work for 12 hours and all that. And as a matter of fact, our mental energy, it's like a muscle. Our concentration, it's like a muscle. You use it up. Energy, it's like a muscle. Your mental energy, it begins to deplete. There are times, if you check out your day, there are times when you are most active, like when you wake up in the morning from 8, 9, 10. Check out your energy level. It's really high. From 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 p.m. and all that, it's beginning to, everything people are saying. So there is no need trying to force yourself and all that. You will do, most times you find out you're doing crappy work. You get it. So you try to make sure that the most important tasks are scheduled when you are most alert.
Yeah.
So you can,
Yeah.
put it in that. Now, another thing, it's just a few things. It's just keep it big size, bite size, and eliminate distractions. Eliminate distractions, because distractions, notifications coming in and all that. And lastly, please learn to say no. Saying no to your boss, let me tell you, people will always treat you the way you show them that that's the way it is. So if they send you emails and all, your boss knows that, like our last speaker rightly said, when they send you emails or somebody knows that I can always call her at any time, then people take it for that. But when you learn to say no, that you are working, they know the time to call you, you get it. So that's it.
Amazing.
Now,
Amazing.
That's it for our work. So maybe, remember, we are talking work-life balance. So there's a life part. We are talking work part, now there's a life part. So maybe when we get to that,
Yeah.
thank you.
Right. Thank you so much. Susan has said so much. And there's one thing I picked, which I'm going to start by God's grace from tomorrow. Work for 20 minutes, play for 5 minutes, but more like rest for 5 minutes. I like that. I really like that. And then know thyself. I think what he said was really profound. Know thyself. Know when you're most productive. Some people are most productive in the morning, some in the afternoon. You know your time. You know yourself. So plan. When you're having your to-do list and all of that, plan is in such a way that you're doing the best job at your most productive time. So I really like what you said. Ruthlessly prioritize your time. That comes with time management and all of that. Eliminate distractions. Learn to say no. My mom will always say no is a, how do you say it? No is a, oh, God help me. Someone help me. Anybody? No is a prophetic word or something in those lines. I'm not sure if I got the right thing. My mom will always say. How did I miss the exact word? Something about no being so powerful. It's a prophetic word. Someone saying something? Sorry? Hannah, are you saying something? Because you're muted. Okay. So yeah, basically learn to say no. I think no is really important. But not just saying no, so I will send you out of the office the next day, but knowing how to emotionally intelligently say no. You know how we talked about emotional intelligence the last time. So just learn to say no. Learn to, like Fiyin said, if you don't respond to them, and really this has happened to me personally, if you don't respond, they would understand that, oh, this person doesn't respond. That's why I said to you, when it's super important and nobody can reach me, my CEO himself goes to me because he knows that, okay, if he gets to me and I leave him for like 1 or 2 hours, I'll get to respond because I understand how important it is. So just learn to say no. And people really will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. Yinka on the group chat says, very true, boundaries have to set in place to create a balance. I completely agree. Thank you so much for that. So I'll just do a quick rundown of things that have been written down, and then we can now decide to have 1 or 2 comments, and then we can end the session. So I have written here ways to improve work-life balance. And there were so much. So if you check online, there's so much article, there's so much things about the same topic. And so this, for me, really resonated with me. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just going to give this is like just 5 steps, right? However, there's so many steps. You can decide to break them into subsets and all of that, and whatever, however it works for you. But know yourself, because if there's anything we say on Wisdom Connect, be intentional. Be intentional, and your intentionality means you knowing yourself and knowing the right time to say no, the right time to draw the line. You just knowing yourself. I work good in the morning, early hours of the morning. I also work good late nights, and this might not be office work, but this is me being more productive at that time, me being more energized. But it doesn't mean that I might not work well during the day. But know yourself, and I know when there's some kind of job I want to do at a particular time and how to go about it. So know yourself. Know what works for you. That it works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you, right? And vice versa. That it works for you doesn't mean it's going to work for me. So we just need to know ourselves. We need to be intentional. Sometimes just sit down, introspectively, just ask yourself. You know how you say, be real with yourself. If you're not going to be real with anybody on the face of this earth, be real with yourself. Sit yourself down, because something I do, I sit myself down and I say, Rosemary, okay, so now how far? This thing that you did, that doesn't make sense. Okay, what is the reason behind this thing that you did? What led you to say this? I honestly ask myself this kind of questions, because the truth is, if you don't tell yourself the truth, if somebody else tells you this truth, you will not even know. You will not even realize that the truth. You think that they are trying to attack you. So anyways, let me not be ahead of myself and just go ahead. So I've written down 5 ways we can improve our work-life balance. First thing I have here is pause and evaluate. Pause, evaluate. So I have a couple of questions you ask yourself in this your pausing and evaluating process. first of all, you can ask yourself, am I spending enough quality time doing what I really want? Ask yourself those questions. Please be very intentional as I read out these questions. Am I spending enough time, enough quality time doing what I really want? Ask yourself, am I committing enough time and energy to people or things that are meaningful to me? Like, I remember, I don't know if anybody I was saying to myself that I think it was during the hangout, saying that I wasn't great with relationships last year, with my family time and all of that. And I was just very intentional, right? This year, I know how many times I've called my family, and then if not like a lot, but I send a message and I say, oh, you know what, I love you. I'm just trying to be intentional, because these are people that matters eventually. You work, you school. As much as this is great, family comes first. Family is really important. So for me, maybe not for you, but for me, family is really important. And I just, trying to create time for my family and, just have time to, oh my God, I have my family on this group chat and I'm so proud of you, Nis. Thank you so much. And, I just really want to create time for my family and have time to check on them, just send them messages once in a while, because what do we have from our family, right? The next thing I have here is, do I still feel aligned with my professional or personal goals? Why or why not? So ask yourself, am I aligned with my professional or personal goals? Am I aligned? The way I'm going, the things I'm doing, am I getting it right? Am I not getting it right? And all of that. Thank you, Uncle CJ. God bless you. Am I getting it right? Am I not getting it right? Whatever the case may be, just really ask yourself. Sit down, ask yourself questions. You and yourself have a conversation. You get what I mean? The next question I have here under pause and evaluate is, where do I feel the most stuck? Where do I feel the most stuck? What is it about this situation that makes me feel this way? Why do I feel stuck here? Why do I feel like I'm not progressing? Why does it feel like I'm not improving myself? Why does it feel like I'm just working in a mechanical way? Why does it feel that way? Is it that, okay, I've spent so much time here and it's time to move? I won't lie, I start to feel that way in a particular job of mine right now. And I'm like, you know what? It's time to move, because why do I feel stuck? And then I didn't just feel that way. There was a reason I started to feel that way. So ask yourself questions. Why do I feel stuck? What am I doing differently? What am I not doing differently? What can I do better? Because the truth is, if you're not intentional, nobody else can be intentional for you. Okay, I'm trying not to preach, but the next thing I'm going to say here, the next point here is assess your priorities. Assess your priorities. What is most important to you? I have some questions also under that. One question is, what really matters to me? And am I doing enough of it? So what matters to you as a person? Is it life? Is it work? Is it both? And then are you doing enough of both? Or are you just having so much activities and you're not being productive? You know yourself more than any other person. Don't forget all this thing that we do. We rebrand ourselves. Like lately, I went to rebrand myself on LinkedIn and all of that. You rebrand yourself. You're trying to forget all of that. Forget all those charades. You by yourself in your bedroom, ask yourself these really important questions. And please get yourself an answer. Because guess what? Nobody is there to judge you. It's just you and yourself. And another question I have here is, where can I make compromise? Where have I been making too many compromises? It's important. Because a number of times, maybe you're making compromise at work, compromise with family, compromise with your relationships, compromise with your health. I remember Charity, I don't know if she's still on this call, the first thing she said was, we need to learn to rest. And it's true. I remember one time I was, if you guys were telling how I was doing my master's and all of that, and I figured I wasn't sleeping well, and I was having headaches back to back. I've never had consistent headache for like 3-4 days. That was new. I know a friend of mine was like, maybe pneumonia and all, but I was just like, no, this has to do with me not sleeping properly, right? Where are you making compromise? Where are you not making compromise? Where do you need to start making compromise? Or where are you making too much compromise? So just really sit down and ask yourself this question. So if there's anything I want you to take from this meeting, is that you need to be intentional. You need to know yourself. You need to have a conversation with yourself, because you are the only one that can help yourself have the balance. The next thing I have here is, what can I do to ensure I am devoting enough time to my goals and relationship? What can I do? Do you need to join more Wisdom Connect meeting? Or do you need to do more reading? Do you need to do more reading? Do you need to have a mentor? Something we say a lot on Wisdom Connect. Sometimes have a mentor. Do you need to do you need to do some reading? Do you need to go exercise? And what do you need to do? Because we need to all do something. We cannot just sit down and do nothing. We cannot afford it, not in this time and in this age, right? Next question I have under assess your priorities is, where can I integrate my responsibilities so I honor more than one at the same time? So, when like Siben was talking about multitasking and how multitasking is not so effective. It was recently I actually learned, and funny enough, it's scientifically proven that multitasking is not actually a thing. We think that it is a thing. I can tell you, I'm staffing, I'm in the kitchen, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. But what we are actually doing is concentrating on one thing at a particular time. As much as we're doing that in short times, you're not concentrating on everything at the same time. When I heard it, I was like, I went to my research, and it's true. It's really true. But you can do your own research and tell me what you think later. But really, so what do you need to delegate? What do you need to outsource? What do you need someone else to be doing for you? You need to tell yourself the truth. I don't know if you guys have seen, but since somebody else started doing our flyer, it became better than what I was doing at first. Really, because what do you need to outsource? What do you need to do? What do I need to do? So you can be able to balance it up and be effective on everything that you need to do, right? Sometimes it's just important. So sometimes, even if you have to write a book, you might get someone to write the book for you. That's okay. Just tell them what you need, and they're the one doing the writing, and life is easy. You are winning on all sides. I don't know why I had said that, but I did. The next thing I have here is, am I inheriting priorities? Sometimes, this for me, I think I wrote this particularly. Sometimes that we have priorities, not bad, but we probably inherited it from our parents, from our families. But is that really your priority? Is that something that you want to be working on? Is that something that doesn't just sit down? Forget that. Okay, my parents will say, our family will say, don't forget the family where you're coming from, blah blah blah, and all that, which is great. But sometimes this is what I really want to do. It's just a family thing, and I'm just trying to, be part of the family, and so I will not be called the black sheep of the family and all of that. Are you inheriting priorities? I think you should sit down and ask yourself questions. And even if you're inheriting priorities, are they as important to you at that time? And on your to-do list, where do they fall? It's important that we ask ourselves kind of questions. The next 3 things I have is manage your time. I think Siben said a lot about it, which is talking about time management. The next thing I have here is establishing boundaries. I think we talked about that as well. And the last thing I have here is reflect, refine, repeat. So you reflect on the things you've done, you refine it, and then you repeat the process. Because like we said, learning is a marathon. It's not expensive. You have to keep learning. You have to keep trying to be better. You have to keep balancing your life and all of that. Guys, I'm so excited about today. And all of that. So any other person want to say anything before we close for the day? But that's all that I have written down. That's all I've downloaded for you guys. I hope you took your notes. I hope you're taking 1 or 2 from today's meeting. And by next week or next 2 weeks, when we have our next meeting, I want to believe that our work and our life we've been able to try, maybe it's not automatic, but we've been able to try to balance it up and all of that. Anybody want to say anything before we get going for today? Anybody want to say anything? Any comments, any questions, anything? Anybody want to say anything? We have a few minutes at the end of this. Okie dokie, I don't think anybody want to say anything. We all came to learn today. Interesting. Okay, Siben is raising up his hand. Yes, Siben, please go ahead. The next 2 minutes.
All right, it's been a great discussion and a very interesting one. But I want us to put this into practice, because it will help us a lot. Like we said, it's about looking after yourself. And there are key areas that if we get it right, if we create routines in those areas, in the long term, it will help us. In the areas of sleep, please, we all know the importance of sleep psychologically and physiologically. That's your body and your mind. Sleep, prioritize sleep. In the area of hydration, please drink enough water. This is part of the self-care we are talking about, drink enough water. And of course, we know that 70% of our body is made up of water and all that. Then in the area of movement, exercise, even if it's for 10, 15 minutes, please do work, get movement, get moving, because it helps you improve your mood as well. If you're thinking of being creative and productive, movement helps a lot. Then in the area of what you're eating, please nourish your body. You are what you eat. Feed yourselves with the cells of your body with the best nutrients you can. Then your mood energy. please, your mood energy, try to be calm and hang around people who are positive, and also think about yourself. Think about what you're doing. Think about where you are going with your life. By the more you think and the more things become clearer to you, the better decisions we are able to make in there now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I was going to say, Siben, let's become in Lagos. But yes, definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Siben says prioritize sleep. I think this is this cannot be overemphasized. Prioritize sleep, guys. Drink enough water. Thank you, Stephen. Let me get my bottle close to me. You know, sometimes you want to drink water, but if you don't have a bottle in front of you, you might forget. So for me, one thing I do is I just want to have a bottle in front of me, because by seeing it, I would always want to put something in my mouth and I'll drink something, and that can also help you. So if you're like me, please get a bottle and put it in front of you when you're working. It will help you drink enough water. And then if you drink a lot of water, you have to also stand because you have to use the restroom. And then that helps you walk about maybe the 5 minutes that Stephen spoke about. So please, I think it's very important that we inculcate that. Exercise, right? It doesn't have to be so much. Maybe it's just walking, maybe it's just running around your area, your environment, your house, whatever. Just try to exercise, right? Say nourish your body and mood energy. I really like that mood energy. Stay around positive people. Please, positivity is all that we're interested in this year. Don't see. Ibada, there are people that are still making so much. There are still people that are enjoying and having the best of life, right? So please don't stay complaining more than just trying to make the best out of the time that you have in front of you, because some other people are doing that. So why not you? Anyways, guys, thank you so much for today. There's something I wrote down, is the fact that we need to encourage ourselves to stop working just to make a living, but also start doing things that we love. Because a number of times, like we said, people just do things that just because they want to make a living. But maybe when you start doing things that you love, or also being intentional, like Henry spoke about, or just accepting the reality in front of you, that can also help you do things that you love and all of that. So try to do things that you love. Or is there something that God has placed inside of you that you need to start making money out of? Maybe it's your time to even open your own company with that kind of thing that God has given you. Why are you wasting time? It's now time for us to start doing things that we love. All right, guys, with that being said, thank you so much. Okay, so sorry, I've written this down and I think I want to just say this. There are diverse business ideas embedded in the things that we do effortlessly. I have a couple of friends that we talk about so many things that they do effortlessly that I would not be able to do, and they can make amazing ideas out of it. So if it's you, maybe it's time for you to start doing that. You have to be an employer of labor this year. You get what I mean? You, I'm talking to, you know yourself, or whoever you are. It might not be, I'm not actually talking to a particular person, to be honest. I'm talking to you as a person. I'm saying, there's so much business ideas that God has placed inside of you. It's time for you to start doing that and start making that money. You know what I mean? We need to rule the world. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining in today. It's been an amazing session. If you have comments or feedback, whatever the case may be, please write on in our Instagram, our WhatsApp group, or you can also meet us on Instagram if you're not on our WhatsApp group and you want us to add you to our Instagram community. We'll do that. Don't forget to please follow us, our social media handles, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and the like. So thank you so much for joining in today. God bless you and have an amazing week ahead. Bye. Say bye to me, people of God. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, Rosemary. Thank you for the session. I'm really grateful.
Thank you.